I want to talk about something that happened between Shade and Inertia that can be kind of scary for a lot of people.
Today I'm going to show you how so-called force can be used non-aversively. We'll see how Shade and the dogs are doing socially and see how things are going otherwise. And if you're looking for a science-backed modern way to train your dog, you have come to the right place. Smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up for a more down-to-earth, ethical dog training experience.
There's a lot of things I think we need to clear up about leash training. Did you know that we can use leash pressure with our dogs without being aversive at all? Leash pressure, or physical tension on the leash when we're training our dogs, does not have to be used aversively. Shade is likely to be well over 100 pounds when he's fully grown, so I want to make sure that he's comfortable with physical assistance if need be. It's inevitable that there's going to be tension on our dog's harness and leash. And if Shade doesn't know how to respond to that, he could pull someone over or worse. Shade also lives with an 18-month-old toddler. His parents are super proactive, so I know they're going to prevent unsupervised interactions. I still want to make sure he's tolerant with being grabbed and pulled on. He's wearing a harness. I'm going to start by doing that and saying yes. Why am I saying yes? If you've been following, you know he's building a strong connection with the word yes. And we're looking for any signs that he might be stressed by that. Other things you would look for are licking of the lips or yawning.
While behaviors like licking lips and yawning are common in dogs, they can sometimes indicate discomfort or stress. It's important to view these actions as cues to better understand our dog's feelings and emotions. Noticing these signals isn't about blaming ourselves, it's about becoming more attuned to our dog's needs and their feelings.
And I want to point out that Shade is free to walk away at any time. That's the ideal scenario if you can set up an environment like that. All right, so I haven't even put the leash on, but let's do that. Yes. I'm really laying it on thick right now to make my point. Yes.
So when I'm training a dog like this, I like to integrate a dog's regular diet along with top-notch treats. Pupford has always stood out because their treats are extremely high quality, very tasty. That's important when you're training dogs. And of course, they're healthy. Their treats have very limited ingredients, very often only one ingredient. And we have a massive spectrum to choose from with them. They have things like bananas from whole shrimp, blueberries, chicken, and other diverse currencies that we can keep training effective without having an over-reliance on any one treat type. And you'll find that when you're using different currencies that your dog likes, that your training will likely be more effective.
All right, good man. All right, so we have the leash on. You can imagine a variety of situations if he gets distracted by some type of animal while on a walk, whether it be a dog or wildlife. You want to be able to physically steer him without him being like, whoa, what are you doing? This is crazy. I'm excited by that. You're pulling me. I've never felt that before. So that's why we do this exercise. Right there, there's tension. I said yes. He's like, wait, yes means I get something. Yes. See that very subtle tension? I don't want to rely on it. I'm just trying to condition him to it. I avoid using tension on the leash because I don't want to, but I want to know that I can if I have to. Let's see what happens when I use a toy as reinforcement. Yes, boy, he comes right along. He's like, whoa, there's a toy. This is our first outdoor fetch. Leash pressure, when used in this way, is a means of positive, pleasant communication between you and your dog. We're not using it to correct undesirable behavior. By associating leash pressure like this with positive associations, you're building trust with your dog. This teaches them that this leash isn't a tool of restriction. It's a signal of guidance. By positively reinforcing leash pressure like this, you're helping to prevent your dog associating aversion with the leash. And that can help lead to a more cooperative and enjoyable experience for both of you. If you instead use leash and pressure to punish or to negatively reinforce, dogs can become more fearful, thereby becoming more aggressive in many instances. Especially with young puppies, it's so normal for them to freeze up when they're in a harness, especially if they're not used to a harness. And so doing what we're doing here is a great way to build that association that's pleasant right from the start. This also puts you in a better position to manage over threshold moments in the future since your dog is now acquainted with this drill. But the better we communicate with our dogs, the less we'll have to rely on techniques like this. These are backup management strategies. A lot of people think that positive dog trainers are against using any type of physical communication. That's not necessarily the case. It's what the communication means to our dog. I also like to finish training sessions very often with some play. That was really nice. He possessed it for a while. I didn't beg him to come back. We haven't even really covered come when called yet. I've been kind of informally saying here and giving him a treat. He's a clumsy guy, so he's still learning how to use his body. I want to not throw too many physical challenges on him, but teaching him the mechanics of a game like fetch, can't go wrong with that. This hyper drivey behavior that you're seeing right now is why people think dogs like this need a firm hand sometimes. I'm showing you that without touching them, you can teach them to let go. We're gonna make the toy boring. It's a fine line between quelling their drive, because you really want them kind of amped up when you're using a toy in a lot of instances. So it's a fine line between quelling their drive and kind of waiting them out till they naturally let go. If your dog's drive were more fragile, then you might not do this approach, but I'm not worried about his drive going away. Go on, get it, letting him win. Just in case he gets a little too far away, I have the leash on there just for extra accessibility, but I don't really intend to use it. Do you see how I keep the toy nice and low when I'm introducing a toy? You will learn 10 times more about your dog when you play with them than doing anything else. World's longest fetch. He hasn't done one this long yet. Let's see if he comes back.
And as we continue to play fetch like this, I mean, we're not just having fun. I'd like to think we're building a bond and learning to communicate. This is a shared activity that is mutually reinforcing. It really enhances our connection together. You can see how that's important for training. And these experiences release those feel-good neurochemicals in both of us. And that creates such a powerful synergy that enriches our relationship beyond measure.
A little loud now, but I'm enthusiastic. It's genuine. Yes! I want to talk about something that happened between Shade and Inertia that can be kind of scary for a lot of people. This particular interaction between Shade and Inertia is a fantastic example of dog-to-dog communication, and one of the many dynamics that you might have to deal with in a multi-dog household. As Shade walked over towards Inertia and attempted to walk over her, he put considerable weight on her, and that caused Inertia to say, "Yo, what do you think you're doing? You can't do this. Get off of me." She really made her point quite clear, and it can sound kind of scary, honestly. This was actually a very measured correction from an older dog to a younger one. It's very healthy for both parties, and Shade did a really good job of taking the hint as well. So he had a healthy reaction. We also saw an immediate de-escalation right after it happened, which is also what we look for. It sounded crazy, but no biting occurred, and it was just verbal communication. And this interaction really shows us a distance increasing behavior between Shade and Inertia. Essentially, Inertia is saying, "I want you farther away from me than you currently are right now." It's an education in boundaries between dogs. Older, well-socialized dogs like Inertia can play a really important role in teaching dogs how to interact in the real world. And this experience also really kind of underscores why it's important to observe our individual dogs and how they behave in these specific contexts. I'm hoping that we can make some improvements on the relationship between Veronica and Shade and see if she can get a little more accepting of him, but there's no way to rush this process. I just want to set up their environment around them in order to encourage this to move along. Play is the universal language among dogs, and it's such a powerful tool to help them bond with each other and with us. My hope here is that we're going to see a gradual approach to play that allows them to find some common ground with one another. Today I'm going to let the dogs lead. I'm going to let them try to communicate naturally with one another, and they'll communicate how they feel, but we do need to pay attention. We're on day 3. We haven't been rushing the process. We've been giving Veronica time to adjust. This is really new for her. It's a fine line between giving them a chance to have a breakthrough and overwhelming either dog.
Now, until this point, Shade and Veronica, they haven't bonded that much. Veronica's been pretty unsettled by his arrival, if I'm being honest. I mean, just yesterday, she was pretty scared of him and not comfortable around him. But by allowing them to simply coexist outdoors here in the backyard in a relaxed setting, I'm giving Veronica the chance to grow a bit more comfortable with him. Now, I'm really hopeful that she is going to choose to engage Shade in play, being that she is a dog that typically likes to play, but we need to let her approach this on her terms.
Really pay attention to the dog's body language. They communicate everything through the way that they move, their postures, their signals. By observing their body language, we can better understand their emotions and their needs. It's happening. Watch. There it is. There it is. There it is. Zooms. Come on. Come on. Good. She's trying to engage him. That might be what we look back on as being a key moment. Yeah, look, see, she's now advancing back towards him, clearly trying to engage in a game of mutual zoomies. She's not just running from him. Veronica's getting much more comfortable. We've gone out of our way to make sure that we've created a place where dogs can feel safe and secure to explore and interact with one another. When it works and you can get two dogs playing together, it can turn strangers into friends and strengthen existing relationships too.
These first few days have really been focused on getting them acclimated, doing some light training, blending play with structure, but there's so much more to come. Can you believe we're only on day 3 with Shade? That's it. I'm going to continue using these Pupford treats throughout the series with Shade. I'm going to have links below where you can get them for your pup. Click that thumbs up, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and check out my books for more insights. We'll see you in the next episode.